All right, we'll get started. I will call to order the City of Milton Common Council meeting this Tuesday, November 18th at 6 p.m. Can I get confirmation of appropriate meeting notice?
Meeting notice was posted at Milton City Hall, Milton Piggly Wiggly, and Hometown Ace Hardware.
Thank you. Approval of agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have an agenda. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments regarding items which can be affected by council action.
We do not have anyone signed in.
However, Chief, if you'd like to take this opportunity to update us on the fire department.
I always feel so bad because Eric and Paul have to sit through the entire district board meeting and then you guys give me the courtesy of getting in and getting out. Not fair, is it? Again, you guys are familiar with the report. You kind of look at it. The trending continues to be pretty much what we've been going throughout 2025. Activities up about 3% year over year. City of Milton itself, you had 53 911 calls during the month. This is for the month of October. 602 for the year. A little higher than your average from last year, but I mean, there's just nothing that really kind of stands out. And the distribution of the calls, I think I've mentioned this before. We're noticing we're getting more calls on the east side of Milton, which I think we've all realized based on, where the growth is in the activity. So there's nothing really unusual about that. Fire prevention activity, everything's going well there. Staffing, we're continuing to keep our head above water, and that's a good thing. On the back, financials, it's still in the green, which is obviously a very important thing to us. We've had a little bit of pressure on it in the last couple of months because we've had two people who have been off for medical reasons, and the board has not changed its policy that we will continue to be as close to full staff as we can. So if we have somebody off for medical, usually leads to a little bit of an increase in overtime to make sure that the positions are always staffed. We're doing okay, not terribly worried about that one. Some miscellaneous things that went on during the month. Again, the mutual aid, that's a little bit higher than normal if you look at last year versus this year. We've been going a lot of places. We were in Rockton, Illinois yesterday, and literally the crew got back from Rockton, and there was a lot of coverage on that. It was a really bad house fire. We literally turned around and went to Lake Mills. We all work very well together. When we have our events, we get a lot of support. The departments around us are very willing to help us. So we try to make sure that we're honoring, that courtesy that they give us when we need it. But there has been a lot this year. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. We did get, for those of you that were following the GEMT saga, it's been about a 4-year saga. We are expecting the 2023 payment to hit our bank account this month. That's a good thing. It's make up money for the decrease in the Medicare payments. We've been carrying the burden of trying to keep our head above water with decreased Medicare payments. They are doing a little bit of a makeup, and that's a good thing. So the 2023 payment, we're expecting that here in the middle of November now. And then they are working on the 2024 reimbursement. We probably won't see that until early sometime in 25, but it's a good thing. And I'll mention Evonik because it is a Milton business. They are extremely good corporate partners. We do a lot of training with them. They're very open with us. They're very, interactive about, the hazards that they have and how we deal with it. But they're also very philanthropic. We've gotten several donations through the years, and they did another donation during October, so we appreciate their support. Paul, I think we got through the debt service exemption issue, so that's a good thing. We're still waiting for a response on the 40-year revenue bond issue that Mark is very painfully aware of and helping us work our way through. Beyond that, nothing really stands out. We did have, you probably saw over the weekend, we did have a pretty significant house fire in Edgerton. We made reference in the press release to it potentially involving a pet that may have done something that they probably shouldn't have done. The fire investigators from the insurance company were with us today. We were going through it in fine detail. And we have read the dog their Miranda rights. It appears very, very likely that the dog managed to figure out how to get the gas stove turned on. And when nobody's home, that's just not a good idea. So, all I got. On behalf of the district, we wish you a very safe and happy Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoy the time, and if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 5, approval of the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Number 6, discussion and possible action regarding proposals to Chapter 6, addition of keeping ducks. So attached, you'll see the email that I received, and actually gave her a call, and unfortunately she's not available to come and answer questions or talk to us tonight, but everything that she put forward is attached. If it helps you at all make a decision, I did talk to a group of 3rd graders at Milton East, and a part of my speech, I gave them an example of some things that come across our desk. And I asked by show of hands who thought we should allow the keeping of ducks, and it was nearly unanimous. Oh. So, if that helps you at all. But no, I was very curious to see what the council would think, so here you go.
I personally see no difference between chickens and ducks. I have no issues with it. We could do a trial period. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And the information laid out, the cap on number of ducks, the coop size, making sure that it's far enough away from other residences, all seem like positive things. So I would be in approval of it.
Yeah, I thought she did a very good job of laying out the things I wouldn't have necessarily thought about when comparing to other animals that we allow. So I too thought, don't really have a problem with it, and look forward to hearing what everyone else has to think.
I don't have an issue with it whatsoever. I don't even know that personally that if it goes through that we would need a trial period. I mean, these things, if there's an issue with it, there's ordinances in place already to deal with the issues that would typically come up with this. And I don't really, I don't see much of a difference between a duck and a chicken as long as the same rules are applied. They have to go through the same application process, all of those things as well. So, yeah, I did. I thought she did a pretty decent job. I read it. I was like, wow, she has her ducks in a row.
You were just waiting to say that one.
Paul?
We're only looking for tonight is direction on, we should look at modifying the ordinance, right?
That'd be correct.
Yeah. So we're not even making a decision on it yet. This is just if we want to go down the possibility of modifying the ordinance, just so everybody's clear.
Yeah. My only feedback is when I look at the current ordinance and the proposal what this person brings to us is there's allowed 8 chickens and 16 quails, and if we add 8 more ducks, that's that's 32 birds. The thing that that person did provide us as well is, in comparison to our local ordinances, and it was collectively, like chickens and ducks, to a total of 8.
I also like the idea of having some type of collective type of control to it, because having all those combined with also bees while you're at it too, because we passed that originally at the same time, but becomes quite the menagerie.
So I guess then I'd be looking for a motion then to advise staff to move forward, putting together some sort of a rough modification to the ordinance we can talk about and vote on.
I make a motion to ask staff to draft a proposal to Chapter 6, addition of keeping ducks.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 7, discussion and possible action regarding a request to modify the snowmobile route along Vincent Street.
I see no issue with using the side of that.
Just trying to get my microphone to work again. But yeah, it's just a minor change to the route. To move the route due to some construction that occurred in the path of the existing route. The request is to use the Vincent Street right-of-way, so they would be on both sides of the road. I did talk with Chief about that as well. He saw no concerns as long as they had it signed appropriately for snowmobile routes.
Is this a one-time thing? It would go back to the normal route next year?
For now, they would like this to be a permanent route because they can't go back with the construction. However, they are going to continue to look for alternate off-road routes in the future, but until then, this would be the route.
I would move to approve the request to modify the snowmobile route along Vincent Street.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 8, discussion and possible action regarding resolution 2025-24, a resolution to adopt the 2026 budget.
Tonight in front of you is a resolution to adopt the budget, appropriate funds, authorize expenditures, and levying a tax levy by the City of Milton for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026. In the resolution is a balanced budget for 2026 that stays within the levy limits and qualifies for expenditure restraints, all while maintaining the current levels of services that we're providing.
I'd make a motion to approve the resolution number 2025-24, resolution to adopt 2026 budget.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 9, discussion and possible action regarding accepting a proposal for financing of the purchase of land in the business park.
The city received one qualifying proposal to fund the purchase of land in the business park. The city received one for financing to purchase this land from the Bank of Milton. We did receive an additional proposal. Actually, since this memo was written, we received another additional proposal. The first proposal that was disqualified was for a loan term of 10 years instead of the requested 11. The second one received was significantly after the due-by date. Bank of Milton's terms were 4.95% with no origination fee. Bank of Milton's proposal total cost is $3,962,414.03. The city could accept the loan terms from the Bank of Milton or start over and ask banks to provide new proposals that would be presented to council at the December 2nd meeting. For fiscal impacts, it's unclear on any effects that requesting new proposals would have on the current proposal. They could go up, could go down, who knows. And administration seeks guidance from council on how to proceed.
Paul, quick question. The ones that have come in, are they competitive, more competitive? Or what do we, I don't know. I mean, with just one proposal that qualified, I kind of feel like we're just kind of stuck.
They're disqualified proposals.
I'm sorry, but
It'd be unfair to the Bank of Milton to discuss those proposals.
okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Ken here. Like having just one, I don't really have anything to compare it to. It makes it, kind of difficult to know that we're making the right call. So, I mean, I would be in favor of pushing it out to the next meeting and seeing if we can open that process back up.
The one that went for 10 years, was that a clerical error, or was that just the how they wrote the loan? Because it didn't seem to be in line with the request for a proposal.
It was an oversight by the bank.
All right.
It was an error. It was not a clerical error, not a typo. It was an error.
It seems like correct me if I'm wrong, 4.95% seems like, and no origination fee seems like a very good rate right now. Is that correct with this kind of a deal?
When budgeting, I was looking at around that rate.
You were, okay.
Something in between 4.5 and 5 is what I was looking at. And so that definitely landed in there.
My 2 cents onto this would be, with what Charlotte asked, I would feel this is a competitive rate. I would also say that, I guess first question for Paul is, how many days notice do the banks get the request?
They received this at the end of October, so they had a few weeks to provide information for us.
With it being competitive, and then last question is, no prepayment penalty was included?
That is correct.
With that being said, I guess to the council, my only thoughts would be is if we provide a general guidelines for request and they don't do it in proper time and notice, they had plenty of time. We have a competitive offer from a local bank to go back and say, hey, just kidding, we will re-accept requests. It just it feels like you're not standing by the initial proposal of request.
Would it be unusual to, and I hear what you're saying, I absolutely, I didn't think of it from that vein, but would this be an unusual thing to send it back out again? Or normally, is it that the way it is? We put out the request, either you made a mistake, you for whatever reason, you didn't follow the guidelines, you're just out. Or would it be normal to say, hey, we're gonna reopen this?
I can speak from my experience. I've never done that. I don't think it's unusual, though. I think certain municipalities would do that, and it has been done by other municipalities for sure. Typically, and both Marks may lend some information here, if an error occurred in bidding for a construction project, we'd throw that out and we would not consider it. I'm not sure if you have any experience of just rebidding if there wasn't enough information.
In the past, I have been involved with a couple of projects, I believe, where we've only received one bid, and that was the discussion if we want to rebid or not. As far as non-qualified bids, that does not come up as often since we switched to Quest, because they're required to submit some of the items in order to submit their bid. So it's a little harder for a bidder to submit a bid that would be considered not qualified. And we use Quest for construction bidding, not all RFP or RFQ processes.
I think it's on with Derek to some extent on this one too. I think we kind of go with what our original proposal that went out, and I mean they were bidding competitively as if there were other people that were in theory bidding against it. So it's still a competitive bid, even though we only got one request. So I think we move forward and go with it.
Yeah, I'm also okay with that after, hear from Paul that's around where he is budgeting anyway. So yeah, I'm also on board.
I make a motion to accept the proposal for financing of the purchase of land in the business park and accepting the Bank of Milton. It's a proposal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 10, discussion and possible action regarding a final change order for the State Highway 59 and High Street Utility Improvements Project.
This project is completed outside of a couple minor punch list items. The project was delayed. I don't know if you recall, but there was a change order previously to allow an extension due to a gas main conflict that was not located correctly in the field during the design and was discovered during construction. That is a big part of the cost increase, and that has previously been discussed. But again, this change order is to detail or final out the project to match the expense or the cost of the project to actual work performed in the field. We recommend approving the change order, and
I'll make a motion to approve the final change order for the 59 High Street Utility Improvement Project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 11, discussion and possible action regarding a final change order for Arthur Drive and Janesville Street Utility Extensions Project.
This is again a final change order for a construction project that is nearly completed. Again, there are some remaining punch list items to be completed, but in order to close out the project, we're looking for approval of this final change order. It does result again in an increase of $19,035 to the project. A lot of that expense is related to some water service lines that were discovered in the field to be different than what current record drawings had showed, which added some additional costs. So again, just looking for approval of this final change order.
I make a motion to approve the final change order for the Arthur Drive and Janesville Street Utility Extensions Project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 12, discussion and possible action regarding a final change order for the Chicago Street Utility Improvements Project.
Similar to the last two items, the project is completed. This project change order does result in a decrease of the total project cost of $7,694, mostly related to work being a little less than estimated and bid. City Administration is again recommending approval of the final change order.
I make a motion to approve the final change order for the Chicago Street Utility Improvements Project.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 13, discussion and possible action regarding a final change order for the salt storage building project.
So in our effort to continue to complete projects, we are asking for one last final change order tonight for the salt shed, salt storage building. This change order does result in a small increase of $232 to the project bid amount that was approved. Again, just looking for approval.
I make a motion to approve the final change order for the salt storage building project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 15, discussion and possible pause. Number 14, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2025-572 and ordinance amending chapter 62 solid waste and recycling.
The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources recently adopted updated rules regarding recyclable materials. To ensure consistency with these new state requirements, the city of Milton must amend its solid waste and recycling ordinance. The proposed ordinance updates section 62-10 through 62-19 of the code to align with Wisconsin Administrative Code. There's no fiscal impact associated with approval of this ordinance. City Administration recommends approval of ordinance 2025-572 and ordinance amending chapter 62 of the Code of Ordinance is solid waste and recycling. Enactment of an ordinance requires the first, second, and third reading and a motion to adopt. If the council prefers, the second and third reading may be waived. At the same time, the first reading is completed.
So Paul, all we're doing is just getting in line with the new state requirements, and that's it? The only changes with this?
That is correct.
All right.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 2025-572, an ordinance amending chapter 62 solid waste and recycling and waiving the second and third readings.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? The motion carries. 15, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2025-573 and ordinance amending sections 10-145 and 10-424 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Milton relating to the construction of buildings.
Chapter 10 of the City Code of Ordinance regulates the construction of buildings within the city. With the most recent comprehensive amendment to the zoning ordinance, updates to section 10-145 and 10-424 are necessary to ensure internal consistency across the city's code. The proposed ordinance amends section 10-145 and 10-424 to reference the correct ordinance in section 78 zoning. There's no fiscal impact. City administration recommends approval of the ordinance 2025-573, an ordinance amending sections 10-145 and 10-424 of the Code of Ordinances related to the construction of buildings. Enactment of an ordinance requires a first, second, and third reading and a motion to adopt. If the council prefers, the second and third readings may be waived at the same time the first reading is completed.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the first reading, waive the second and third reading, and adopt ordinance 2025-573.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. Number 16, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2025-574, amending sections 58-38G of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Milton, addressing the Board of Zoning Appeals for Planning and Development. Go ahead, Paul.
We're going to be going through a couple of these, just updating our code to align with the zoning code. Chapter 58 of the city's Code of Ordinance covers planning and development activities, including procedures of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Section 5838 outlines how the Board of Zoning Appeals handles requests for relief from zoning requirements. As part of the recent zoning ordinance update, the procedure section referenced in subsection G was changed. However, the cross-reference in the Code of Ordinance was not updated. It still cites the prior section number. This creates inconsistencies and may lead to confusion for applicants and staff. There's no direct financial impact with the approval of this ordinance, and City Administration recommends approval of Ordinance 2025-574, an ordinance amending Section 5838G of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Milton, addressing the Board of Zoning Appeals for Planning and Development. Enactment of an ordinance requires a first, second, and third reading and a motion to adopt. If the council prefers, the second and third reading may be waived at the same time the first reading is completed.
I make a motion.
Go for it.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-574 and ordinance amending section 58-38G of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Milton, waiving the second and third reading and adopting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? That motion carries. 17, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2025-575, an ordinance creating sections 2-613 of the Code of Ordinances concerning Office of Building Inspector.
During the comprehensive revision of the city zoning ordinance, the provisions that previously created the Office of Building Inspector were inadvertently removed. The proposed ordinance formally reestablished the Office of Building Inspector within Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances. No fiscal impact, and City Administration recommends approval of Ordinance 2025-575, an ordinance creating Section 2-613 of the Code of Ordinances, Office of Building Inspector. Enactment of an ordinance requires a first, second, or third reading, and a motion to adopt. If the council prefers, the second and third reading may be waived at the same time the first reading is completed.
I make a motion to approve the ordinance number 2025-575, an ordinance creating section 2-613 of the Code of Ordinances concerning the Office of Building Inspector and waiving the second and third reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. 18, discussion and possible action regarding a work order from Baxter & Woodman, Inc. for Development Assistance Engineering Services.
This work order is to provide miscellaneous engineering, planning, review, design, and construction services for projects associated with developments as requested by the city for which a specific work order is not prepared. The fees for service are based on the engineer's standard hourly billing rates for actual work time performed, plus reimbursement for out-of-pocket expenses, and are funded by accounts related to the work performed. Most of the development-related charges are reimbursed through development agreements or funded through TIF districts. Other miscellaneous fees will be funded by accounts associated with the work requested. Staff is recommending approval of the work order for the 2026 Development Assistance Engineering and Construction Services.
So this just is for things that just randomly come up that you really don't have another project for, you just need some
So
assistance with.
this is the process we've used since before I was here. But basically, yeah, it's for if a developer shows up and say, hey, we want to build XYZ in Milton, we enter into a development agreement with them or some other pre-development agreement potentially, and that allows for us to be reimbursed and to charge for costs related to legal services or engineering services back to the developer.
I move to approve the work order for 2026 Development Assistance Engineering and Construction Services.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Number 19, discussion and possible action regarding a work order from Baxter and Woodman, Inc. for general engineering consulting services.
Similar to the development assistance, this is for general engineering for the city, where a specific work order is not prepared. This could be work related to a small project at the wastewater plant or the water system, maybe reviewing something specifically needed for a regulatory condition or other item where, again, there's not a specific project work order prepared like we see for the larger capital projects. Fees for services are based on the engineer's standard hourly billing rate for actual work time performed, plus reimbursement for out-of-pocket expenses, and are again funded by the accounts related to the work performed. City administration recommends approving the work order prepared by Baxter and Woodman for 2026
I make a motion to approve the work order prepared by Baxter and Woodman for 2026 city engineering consulting services.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. 20, general items. Committee reports. Does anyone have a committee report?
Historic preservation meeting tomorrow.
Parks met last night, a lengthy meeting. The big item, I guess we'll say, was the community house and the possibility of which direction to go with that. So the consultant with Angus Young was there to provide some overview of the options. So we asked that they take one of the options that they provided and give us a cost estimate along with a full tear down and rebuild of that building. I have the photos of those options if you'd like to see them. Otherwise, Veterans Park is getting gutters on the pavilion, and that's pretty much the overview there.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. We'll go with staff reports then. Mark, hit it.
leaf collection's wrapping up this week. We'll continue until it gets too cold, which is going to be pretty quick looking at the weather forecast. Other than that, again, wrapping up a lot of big projects that we've had kind of outstanding, so that's keeping Kelsey happy. So we can get those closed out, but otherwise, yeah, just routine work for us.
Go ahead, Kelsey.
Now that we have an approved budget, I'm going to be switching gears to preparing the tax bills to get those sent out by the deadline of the third Monday in December. I've been finalizing open enrollment for all employees for health, dental, and vision services for 2026. Tomorrow morning we are having the police sergeant peer interviews, so I'll be sitting in on those. Otherwise, I think that's about it.
Thank you. Paul?
Begun work and helping Kelsey, and Kelsey actually had most of the legwork done on TID budgets and utility budgets. You should be seeing those at the December 2nd meeting for your approval. Continuing working with Upper 90, we are looking at some solar panels options on some of our facilities with the water department. Looking at wells 5, 6, and possibly the booster station. Those seem to be the best return on investments on them, as well as some of the higher rebates that we can receive for installing those. Looking to get that in there, and continued talking to the comprehensive plan group that's working on our comprehensive plan. They should be presenting to the Planning Commission on December 2nd.
Thank you. Jenny?
Just a quick reminder to anyone that's interested, we are still looking for election officials within the city. We will be appointing those for the 2026 to 2027 election cycle on December 2nd. So if anyone is interested, please have them reach out. Otherwise, the election official registration form is available on the website. And then transitioning to the website, we are continuing to work through that website update. So we had a first couple meetings with Civic Plus. So again, if there's anything that people are interested in seeing on there, please let us know. And then also the dog licenses for 2026 are here. So if anyone would like to get a jump on that, they can come in and during office hours and get their new dog license.
Thank you. Ashley?
We announced that in 2026 we will be discontinuing our online resource Hoopla. So those who are enjoying it, I'm sorry. So with Hoopla you can download ebooks and audiobooks, but it's just not, we can't financially sustain it because it is a pay per download platform. So we will be concentrating on decreasing wait and increasing titles on Libby, which is another online resource that you can use to download ebooks and audiobooks. We are seeing a kind of a trend of more people checking out online resources and physical resources, so we are trying to figure out the best way to meet our patrons where they are going, but still be financially responsible. And then our Friends of Mountain Public Library book sale is still happening, with next Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday being the $2 bag sales. So come fill up a couple bags with books and get them out of the basement for me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, team building. Team building, here we are. What is a popular movie that you just can't stand?
I am not a fan of Forrest Gump for obvious Jenny reasons.
That's so fair. Mine, keeping with the upcoming season, White Christmas. Don't like it. Poorly acted, bad script, poorly directed. Just not a good movie overall. I have to watch it every year.
Avatar. Just a cheap knockoff of Dance of the Wolves. Or actually, an inexpensive knockoff of Dance of the Wolves. Also, I think, didn't Ken have to do last meetings as well? Team building?
I don't know.
We don't want to rewind. It was a good one, yeah, but
Sorry, I missed it.
I still, to this day, have not seen this movie. And it's because it surpassed Star Wars at the box office. And that movie is Titanic. And my young, impressionable man that I was would not see it because it passed Star Wars.
I'll follow that up and tell you that Star Wars is my.
I was gonna say the same thing. I have no desire to see Star Wars or anything at all. I've tried multiple times and I just can't do it. Sorry.
I thought I was really walking like a hate mail kind of line with White Christmas, but you guys, man.
Close. Well, the second one is close. Okay, so there's one movie I can't stand. I don't know if it'd be considered popular though. Borat.
Okay. It was popular at one point, yeah.
It was. I couldn't. I could not. I could not bring myself to watch it at all.
I can't do horror. I have to do a genre. Nothing with horror. I saw it when I was 13. I still have nightmares. It's just sick. It's awful. But I know it's very popular.
I am so not passionate about movies. Sorry, any movie lovers. I sleep through all of them. So I watch like 5 movies. So I don't know. Sorry.
The one that pops in my mind is Taken. A lot of people like that movie for some reason. I think it's just absolutely disgusting. Like, just to my soul, the movie Taken, with like human sex trafficking, it just really, really bothers me. So, yeah.
I didn't really have anything. I mean, the one that really popped into my mind was Avatar too. Let me say that again. The only, because we get this recorded. The only thing that really popped into my mind was Avatar. That's otherwise I can't think of anything.
Let's see. For me, pretty much anything with Adam Sandler.
I don't like any musicals. Anything with singing. I don't mind other people singing. I don't like singing, but I don't like singing in my movies. It just weirds me out. Sorry.
So Mamma Mia is out for you.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Sound of Music or Grease?
Ugh.
That's like one that I'll watch.
Don't do it. I'm cringing. Anybody wants to throw out movies?
Grease?
For me, it's any live.
That's okay. We have that in common. That's great, Ryan. Yes, thank you. All right, thank you, everybody. It's always fun. I used to totally dislike team building, but it's really growing on me to see Ken smile. All right. Next meeting date is December 2nd. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.